In life, you do the hard things first, and it makes the rest of your life easier. If you do the easier things first, it's going to make the rest of your life harder. That principle applies to your money. Guys, the most important 10 years of your financial life is probably not when you think it is. It's not your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, or your 50s. The absolute 10 most important years of your financial life is really the 10 years that you decide to buckle down, get focused, get serious, invest a lot of money, manage your money well, get out of debt, and take this thing super duper serious. The 10 years that you decide to do those things is going to be the most important 10 years of your financial life. Whenever that 10 years is. Now listen, obviously, the earlier you do that, the better, right? If you can do that between the ages of 19 and 29, okay. That's probably going to set you up better for later in life. But listen, for some of us, we blew off our 20s and we didn't do well in our 30s. So the most important 10 years of your life is whenever you decide to buckle it down and get focused. Of course, the earlier the better, because it takes about 10 to 15 years after this 10 years of your life to really start seeing the results and the effects of your getting focused on your personal finances. So in other words, if you utilize your 20s, great. You will really start to see the effects of this when you get in your 40s, right? Your late 30s, early 40s. If you decide to do this in your 40s, you really won't see the effects until your late 50s, early 60s, right? So again, the idea of the 10 most important years of your financial life is the decade or 10 years that you decide to get focused. Let's go a little deeper. Let's go into exactly why you want to do this sooner rather than later and why earlier is better. First of all, it's the compounding effect, right? Compounding rewards early starters. So the sooner you start to focus and start investing money, as much money as possible, the more compound interest can really have an effect and really build your wealth faster. Because even small amounts that you put in towards, say, the stock market, you invest in your 20s, those small amounts, they turn into huge amounts over the course of the next 15, 20, 30 years, right? Those decades will build your wealth incredible. The problem is if you don't start getting focused until your 50s, you may not have the decades left in your life to see the effects, the true effects of compound interest. Also, if you start this 10-year decade, this 10-year period of being focused, you started earlier in life. Now you've got plenty of time to learn from your mistakes in terms of investing in finances without these huge catastrophic consequences if you mess something up, right? You can recover if you mess up in your 20s. But if you mess up in your 40s or 50s, it's harder for you to recover. And just habits, right? If you get the habit of focusing on your money and being intentional with your money and managing your money right and investing your money in your 20s or 30s, those habits that you get over this 10-year period are going to turn into habits that you have over 15 years and 20 years and 30 years, right? Rarely do you see people that do really well managing their money in their 20s and 30s and then mess it all up later on in life. It's because they build habits, and those habits seep into you, and next thing you know, you're 20 years down the road doing the same things you did 20 years ago to build wealth. You're doing them now in your 40s and 50s in a bigger way because you learned the habit early, right? So these habits, they stick with you. And of course, look, financial focus is going to help you break some cycles sooner rather than later. The cycle of paycheck to paycheck and stress and all that, you want to break that thing. And a lot of times people think getting really focused on your money is going to be restrictive, right? I don't want to be restrictive. I don't want to do a budget because I don't want these restrictions and parameters on what I can and can't do with my money. But really, when you get focused and intentional with your money, it really frees you up. Discipline frees you because it now gives you control. And it reduces your stress and your anxiety and opens up opportunities for you, ultimately giving you choices, which leads to more freedom, right? Because instead of feeling trapped by debt or trapped by living paycheck to paycheck, you get the freedom to have more money down the road. You get the freedom to make choices about your goals, and you leave the restriction of financial desperation and the restriction that comes with mismanaging your money and comes with not having any money. So the sooner you buckle down, the more freedom you'll have. And the sooner you make a decision to really do this 10 years of focus on your personal finances, the more you'll have the ability to take some calculated risk along the way. Look, if you've messed up your money and you're 50 years old, you ain't got much time to play. You don't have much risk that you want to take. You want to get focused at 50 and get really intentional, and you don't have a lot of room for making a mistake. But if you get focused like this in your 20s or 30s with your money, now you can take a little bit more risk. So when it comes to investing or business opportunities or investment opportunities, you can afford to be a little more risky. And when it comes to money, higher risk leads to higher rewards. So the earlier you start this 10-year period of focus, the easier really it is to reach your financial freedom and have more opportunities to build wealth, because you can jump on opportunities that other people who can't afford to risk it can jump on. Now, I'm not saying be super duper risky and throw it all at the wall because you're 25 years old. What I'm saying is it opens you up and frees you up to take some additional risk that you might not want to do when you're 40 and 50 and 60. Getting ultra focused for 10 years as soon as possible is going to reduce your stress. It's going to give you more peace of mind. It's going to reduce your anxiety. And also it's going to overall improve your mental health. So it may be hard. No, not it may be. It will be hard for 10 years. Buckling down, less vacations, no car payments, getting out of debt, doing less, right? Doing less now so you'll have more later. Because ultimately, it's hard now. It'll be hard for 10 years, but it's going to be easier down the road, right? In life, you do the hard things first, and it makes the rest of your life easier. If you do the easier things first, it's going to make the rest of your life harder. That principle applies to your money. So make the sacrifice early as possible, right? Because not to mention, guys, you want to be setting up future generations. Because listen, I want you to build the type of wealth that you cannot spend all on your own. I want you to build the type of wealth that you need to pass down to further generations, that you have money left over for your children, for your grandchildren, for your grandchildren's children, right? Building a legacy. See, in my opinion, guys, building wealth is not just about you, right? I know people say, hey, you only live once, right? Or you can't take it with you. Listen, real wealth, when you build real wealth, it's not just for you. It's for helping other people, giving to other people, having something left over for the generations in your family that come behind you, right? That's what it's all about. That's what financial independence is all about. That's what building wealth is all about. It's generational wealth. We got to be thinking, and a lot of people don't think like this, but we got to be thinking long term. We got to be thinking 2 and 3 generations down the road. And when I say long term, not just generations, but maybe thinking about yourself 20 and 30 years from now, right? Because the people who don't focus on building wealth right now, they often end up working longer than they want to work, having to go to work when they don't want to go to work, and stressing about money 20 years from now. I don't want to stress about money 20 years from now. So hey, listen. It's never too late. Even though we want to do this as early as possible, it's not too late. I don't care if you're watching this and you're 65 years old. You might live another 20 or 30 years. So even if you're behind and you haven't done this, it's taken out 10 years to really get focused, you can do it, right? The best time to start was yesterday. The best time to start might have been at age 21. But the second best time to start is right now. The most important 10 years of your financial life is whenever you decide to take action. The earlier, the better. But even if you start late, starting now is going to make all the difference down the road. Hey guys, if you got any value at all out of this quick video, do me a favor, smash that like button, share the video, and drop a comment below. Hey, as I always say, the best person who's going to take care of the old you is the young you. Guys, take good care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.